Okay, we can start na. So today we will be dealing with insert, update, and delete data in our database and perform some simple select statement. So if you want to add data in your table, you will be calling yung insert na statement in SQL. So ang syntax niya is insert into, then followed by the table name of your table. Then if you know the arrangement of your columns, you can directly call the values clause. So the values will give you or the values clause is the part where you put the data that you want to insert in your table. So for example, we will be inserting to our table student, and I don't remember yung structure niya. So let's perform yung describe muna na command to see yung student. So ito siya sa baba. Ito yung structure ng table natin. In case you forgot yung kanyang attributes. So if you issue the insert command, so insert into, followed by the table name, kung saan ka mag-insert ng data, and then values, open and close parentheses, and then inside the values clause, dun mo ilalagay yung data or you want to insert in your database. Then you can end with semicolon. So if you remember yung pagkasunod-sunod ng inyong column, you can directly put the data here. For example, we have here the student, and since na-describe natin siya, magpapakita yung kanyang mga attributes. So alam na natin yung pagkasunod-sunod nito. So with this one, we can directly call the student, insert into, then table name student, and then we need to give the data for each field or attribute. So you should follow the arrangement here. Kung nauna yung student number or student ID, dapat yung unang data mo is about student ID. Then next is given name. So dapat the next data should be for the given name. For example, John. Then next is middle name. And since this is nullable siya, meaning it is not required, you can just put empty string. Pero lagyan na natin ng something, no? Ayan. And then last name, sabihin natin Tan, and then email. So j@gmail.com. And then contact, and then birth date. So kunyari 097, and then birth date is sabihin na natin 10/11/1999. Ayan. So this is how you insert your data into your table. Ayan. If you know the arrangement of your fields, you can directly call the values clause and then put yung each data that is aligned to your field. So make sure tama yung arrangement ng data dun sa field ninyo. If not, the data will not be assigned to that field. Pwedeng mapunta sa ibang field. And you can encounter error if integer yung hinihingi, tapos binigyan mo string. Ayan. So make sure, alam niyo yung pagkasunod-sunod ng columns. So let's run this command. Ayan. So one row is inserted, meaning we have successfully inserted the data. So to see kung na-insert siya, we can issue the select statement. Although we have not yet discussed yung select, try lang natin mag-select statement. So simple way to check if the data exists is select statement. So we will have a discussion here further later on. So run lang natin yung select statement, and makita natin na insert yung data. Ayan siya. So select means parang you're querying. So, or retrieving data. So nata-retrieve natin yung date, yung laman ng table. Asterisk means everything, every column na meron or every field na meron. And since we select all fields from our student, ito yung output niya. And nakita natin the data that we inserted earlier is already in the database. So if you want, for example, you forgot kung ano yung pagkasunod-sunod ng column, you can specify the column name after the table name sa insert statement. So for example, insert into student and then open and close parentheses, then you put here the attribute name. For example, naalala mo siya pero hindi mo alam yung arrangement. Naalala mo yung mga field name, pero hindi mo alam kung sino nauna, like nauna ba student number o nauna yung name. So you can enumerate here the field names or the attributes or yung mga columns, and then susundan mo yung pagkaka-enumerate mo dun sa field. So burahin ko muna lahat to. For example, we don't remember the arrangement of the columns, but you remember what are the column names or yung mga field names na meron ka dun sa student table. So you can put it in the parentheses after the table name, which is student. So for example, alam natin na there's a given name. There's a last name. Then meron tayong student ID, email, contact, and then birth date. Birthday. So for example, yan. So since we enumerated the number of the name of the columns, we should make sure yung data sa values clause is exacto kung ano yung pagkaka-arrange dito. Ang una kong lalagay is yung given name. Kunyari, sabihin natin Jason. And then last name. And then student ID is 456. Then email is sabihin na natin gmail.com. And then contact number. Yan lang din. And then birthday, lagyan natin dito. 11/09/2000. And then let's run this command. So we have enter error here kasi. So this is birth date. Ayan. So let's run this command again. So ayan, we run our command now and one row inserted. To double check if it exists already sa database. So we will perform select again. Then if we run this one, as you can see, na-insert na si student with ID 456. Ito na siya. So since we didn't indicate middle name kanina dun sa ating lalagyan ng data, naging null siya. Wala siyang data. So hindi siya nag-error because the middle name is not required. So ano lang siya, optional. In case you have inserted a data in your table and then required yung isang field tas hindi nyo or you forgot to put a value for that field, you will encounter error kasi required siya na may value. Ayan. So that's how you perform insert in a table. So next, let's do the update muna. So update is if you want to edit an existing data in your database or in your table. No? If you want to edit or change some values in your data sa inyong table. So the update statement is update the name of your table. So table name. And then set. Then kung anong column yung gusto nyo i-update equals yung new value. So column name. Ito. And then the new value. Tapos if you are updating multiple columns, so comma, another column name equals another new value. And so on and so forth if marami. So let's try. So update student, set, sabihin natin yung middle name. Lagyan natin ng middle name. Equals, sabihin natin this value. So what will happen if we execute this command directly? So it will update all your data in your table with this value for the field middle name. Of course, we don't like that since ang focus lang natin itong si student ID 456. So siya lang dapat yung ma-update with this kind of value. So with that, papasok yung where na clause. So if you don't put a where clause in your update statements, all the data in your table will be updated kung ano yung sinet ninyo. So of course, we don't like to update everything. Ang focus natin now is yung student ID 456 lang. So with that, we need to put the where clause. So the where clause will set like a limit or condition. If you have condition on which data lang to update, you can use the where clause. And then we will double check our data and field names kung which among these field names is unique, no, or we can use to identify our data. Since I'm pertaining to this row, yung data with student ID 456 and name niya is Jason, we will use the student ID as its condition. Why? Pag gumamit tayo ng ibang field names, since they might not be unique, so lahat, for example, you have many student with Jason yung name niya. If you use given name as our condition, lahat ng may Jason, magiging same sila ng middle name Perez lahat. Pag hindi yun yung situation or yung scenario, so dapat we look for the specific identifier, which usually is the primary key. So kaya ang gagamitin natin student ID. So where, then column name, which is student ID, then equals, then what value or what specific row yung gusto mo i-update. So si student with 456 na student ID. Then issue nyo lang tong command na to, control enter. Ayan. So one row updated here. Then if you perform select again, asterisk from student, as you can see, na-update na yung kanyang middle name. Na-edit na siya. So you can perform a complicated condition if you like sa inyong where clause. So you can add a logical operator na and tsaka or. You can also perform ignoring precedence by putting parentheses. For example, complicated yung condition mo, you can put parentheses kung sino yung mauuna or to group them. So that will depend on your condition or gusto nyong scenario na mangyari. So that's how you update data. So if you have multiple columns to update, you can just put comma here, then the other column name, for example, email, then equals the new value again. And so on and so forth. Ganun lang siya. Yan. So next, we will perform delete. So if you want to remove data in your database, you will use the delete. The delete statement allows you to remove data in your table. So you can remove many data. You can also remove specific data. You can also remove data based on your condition. So the syntax of delete is delete from the name of your table name, which is student. Then if you issue this one, it will delete all the data in your student table. So in case you want to delete a specific field only, you need again to call the where clause to set up your condition. Para madi-delete lang is yung gusto niyo ma-delete. If ever you really want to delete all the data inside your table, instead of using delete, it is more advised to use the truncate. So dapat yung truncate gagamitin niyo, which is under the DML. So kasi the truncate is much more efficient than the delete if you're going to delete all the data. For example, you have millions of data in your table and then you want to delete it. So the delete might take longer to execute versus the truncate. So mas okay if truncate gagamitin nyo. Pero if you want to delete some specific data only, delete statement ang gagamitin. So let's delete the first student. So delete from student where student ID equals 1, 2, 3. And then let's execute the command. And so one row deleted. If we select again from our table, ayan. As you can see, wala na yung previous na data. So that's the 3 DML statement.